Don't be a hater. I mean it. Don't be a hater. That's the morning meditation. No, I didn't intend to be on here, but you know what I said? I appreciate the real moments. So this is me running out to grab some last minute items for some products I'm making that I promised I would have ready for a client. So this is what it looks like. I'm out and about earlier than I usually would be. Typically, it's not that early to be honest, but typically around 9, I'm still at home doing my workout or some part of my morning routine. This is definitely not part of my morning routine. And I was taking my hair down, so it's halfway taken down and part of it still has the locks in it. So I decided to wrap, but I'm feeling my wrap today, so I'm glad I got to wear my wrap. That's the positive. But the meditation for this morning, for today, is don't be a hater. So I'm going to put that up here, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about what I mean, because it's not probably what you're thinking. As you know, I don't come on here to bring negative or messy tips and advice. So come back and see me shortly. Join me as we dive into what I'm talking about when I say don't be a hater, because it has to do with, or it really ties into the fact that I went ahead and hit record and decided to go live right now. Okay, peace. So basically what I meant by that, you know, the first thing that usually comes to mind when you're like, don't be a hater, you know, is ridicule or some form of negative energy from outside sources, right? And, you know, that's a natural, I think, warranted thought. But, you know, as I have been becoming more aware, and this isn't really rocket science, so we all have moments like that where we hear ourselves speaking to ourselves, or we hear an aspect of ourselves snapping us back into reality, or snapping us out of negative or wrong thinking, which is what should be happening. Ideally, that's what happens. A lot of times it doesn't happen. I do think that, I know actually, that a part of the reason that this is happening, if this is happening to you, is for a good reason. It's because your vibration is raising. You're changing from a previous state into another. You know, we're always constantly evolving or devolving depending on what we engage in and give our attention and our energy to. So if we are doing what we are supposed to be doing in terms of progressing, moving forward in a positive sense, there should be moments where we are snapped into reality, snapped out of devolving and out of low vibrational thinking. So that being said, I am asserting that because that's kind of what happened to me this morning as I was getting up and doing my morning routine, which I also think there's something to getting up earlier in the morning, or getting up earlier than you usually would, and getting the activity going in your brain and your brain stems and your RNA brain stem. I mean, I don't know if you have more than one brain stem, but you know, getting the activity going and the energy flowing to that area of your body at the time of the day, there's something to be said for that too. As well as the date of the calendar and the day of the week. We could get really fine-tuned with that. There's certain, you know, not necessarily from a good or bad perspective, but more so from a maximizing the energy that is present perspective. So anyway, back to what I was saying. because I'm just kicking it. You're just riding with me this morning, and I appreciate you being here. But those outside, we usually think of the outside people or situations or factions or groups or whatever, ridicule, criticism coming from the outside. We are not often sensitive to inner criticism. But in improving myself as an entrepreneur and human, divine woman, womb wellness expert, Reiki practitioner, YouTuber, musician, in terms of self-improvement, I believe that is why I was, am in this mindset of being hyper aware of my thoughts. And these are just kind of passing thoughts as I am doing my, mundane activities of life. Usually I probably wouldn't even have thought twice about this, but again, it kind of correlates to my business and me succeeding in business and getting the message out to you and succeeding at connecting with goddesses who are on the other side of this camera. So, don't be a hater. I'm saying that because sometimes the hater is you. Sometimes we are the haters. We can be our own worst hater. The hater we love to hate is ourselves sometimes, right? And I'm saying that because, I thought about going live because I've been getting a lot of downloads and just having a lot of those light bulb moments in the last 24-hour period. And I'm also kind of in the middle of a big transitional period just with my career and even more like with self, because I think everything emanates from the outside, or from the inside out rather. So I'm feeling a little pressed. My plate is a little full. But I recognize the value in overstanding your energy and your mindset, and that really dictates everything. The mind is everything. The mind is all. Despite what it looks like, whatever is aligning in our lives, it all comes out of you, out of me, for our own personal universes that we exist in our day-to-day, or womb-niverse, if you will. So this morning when I was gathering my things and thinking about what type of tea I was going to have, and then also like what else I needed to, put in place to make sure my day is productive and checking off my checklist, I had this thought that I should go live or make a video rather. I keep saying go live. But I had the thought that I should make a video, and I didn't. I stopped because I had a really good idea. And one of the good ideas was the fact that, it's what we're talking about now. Anyway, I immediately stopped. That whole idea was stifled in its tracks. It was just stopped. And I recognized that energy disconnect. I recognized that short circuit in that energy, that communication, that energy that I was supposed to communicate to you all. I stopped because appearance wise, I knew oh my God, my hair is half up, half down, and I have got to run this errand. And I still have to finish taking my hair down, all this kind of stuff. I had all these excuses for why I probably shouldn't have been on screen. And immediately, because my vibration is getting higher, thankfully, I noticed that there was a short circuit in positive energy and a higher vibrational energy connection there. Why am I doing that? And it was because, I was judging and condemning myself. So that was stopping my progress and stopping me in my purpose. That was a point in my own candid, that was a candid moment in my own life, however small it may be, where I was able to identify little things like this, because it's not always that deep, but you know, these little things are like big. And so that was a big thing. Like, whoa, did you recognize? This is where, when we start talking about doing that work on self and that energy work, it's noticing and becoming aware and open to actively tweaking and changing these little things that have to do, these little quirks or these little blocks that we allow to persist or remain. When we talk about changing the energy, transmuting energy, raising our vibration, healing with energy, or reversing illness with energy, manifesting, we can go on and on and on. But it's really these little moments that it's kind of just a peek or a day in the life of what it looks like to do simple things that have to do with your own alchemy, that actually change the trajectory of your life and your life path in the direction that you want it to go in, because you're noticing through your awareness, right? You are open to and you are committed to noticing when these blocks show up in your life. And the more you're able to do that, the more you're able to connect to the higher universal energies that allow you to wield whatever situation, circumstance, and outcome you would like to see for your life according to universal law. It just takes being aware that whatever circumstance you're working on or dealing with that may be blocking or short-circuiting your progress, in this case with uterine fibroid elimination, shrinking fibroids, or productivity in business or life, is there. It takes you being aware and also doing a little bit of the heavy lifting. I would say medium, not so heavy lifting, because really I think that one of the reasons I was aware of this and I have more clarity if I get up earlier and get active earlier rather than, you know, lounging around until I decide, okay, well, it's about 12 o'clock or whatever. Now I'll go and start working on, no, I got up a little earlier. So I was out of my comfort zone a little bit there. But also it's a lot more fertile ground and fertile energy, where I believe personally I'm able to hear more clearly, have more clarity from the ethers, from source, and also awareness of what is going on in my womb-niverse and universe in terms of what should be there and what should not be there energetically, by being sensitive to how I'm feeling, intuitively sensitive and fine-tuned and aware with subtle changes in lower vibrational thoughts, patterns, activities, and behaviors. Does that make sense? And in this case, the lower vibrational pattern, or it was an energy block, right? The lower vibrational thing that we're focusing on are the thoughts that were in my head about, oh, why I shouldn't do this video, why I couldn't come on and talk to you, why this was not the right time, and why that was not going to happen. And if I wouldn't have done it now, it probably would have never got done, because I get a million ideas throughout the day, but by then I will be off to other things. I will have had some coaching client calls or womb Reiki calls, or, you know, some of my other business things might have kicked off, and then I'd say, well, I'll just move on, or maybe I'll, you know, work on another idea. So I just think that these are little hacks to where they help you stay on your game a lot more with whatever your goal is, fibroids included. So, because I'm going to talk about a little bit more in another video. I'll probably stop this one and come back on. But fibroids are connected to energetically, when we're talking about what creates this physical growth, where there was nothing, before there was nothing physical, then all of a sudden there is a physical growth. What causes that manifestation? You know what? It's a clue that there are things that are activating the formation of physical solid form and matter from non-physical origins. So you have to say, well, what are those things? And we talk about that a little bit more in other videos. I'm sure you've seen me talk about that. But one of the ways that you can look at that, and you can look at making sure you're doing everything that you need to do as far as the emotional and non-physical work that it takes to cultivate the energy to dissolve fibroids, and that is making sure you are in alignment with your purpose. So I have kind of talked about that a little bit more in the past, because I mentioned being authentic and living your truth, being in alignment with yourself. So to push it a little bit further and to put a little bit more emphasis to solidify what that might look like is asking yourself, why are you here? And what is on your heart, your life's work that you are passionate about, that you would do regardless of whether you got paid, right? Of course, you want to get paid. I'm not saying that means you don't get paid. I'm saying just identify what you would do regardless of whether there was money involved or not. And what it really drives you, what really gets you up out of bed in the morning with excitement. Find your purpose. Those are clues usually to what your purpose is, what gives you joy to participate in. It could be helping other people. It could be volunteering or doing social work. It could be performing and singing. It could be creating herbs. It could be working out. It could be painting. It could be woodworking. It could be mothering. It could be helping the elderly. I mean, we could go on and on for days. But either way, whatever it is, get active in whatever your purpose is. Give your purpose your attention. Even if it's something you feel far away from, find ways that you can baby step your way into giving energy and attention to your purpose, because the more you do that, the more you are taking energy from uterine fibroids. Okay? The more you funnel that energy constructively and in the way that you want it to go, because it's fibroids, I've said it before, I'll say it again, are just a manifestation of energy, your energy, that has not been tapped and has not been controlled. It's just an out of control manifestation of energy that may have been tucked away and hidden and is now stagnant. But if you start to give attention to expressing that energy creatively, as well as giving that energy a funnel and a job by focusing it in the direction of whatever your purpose is, that is how you take that energy. You take away from whatever the food supply is energetically to the uterine fibroids. So let me know if that resonated with you. Just remember, don't be a hater, okay? Sometimes the biggest hater is ourselves, and recognize when that hater shows up, recognize it and don't allow it to cause a blockage in whatever the energetic chain of communication you were engaging in with source. Identify it, nip it at the bud, and continue on in the direction. Run in the direction that energy block showed up to stop you from going in. And in addition to that, know and understand, or know and overstand, and run toward your purpose, giving generously your energy, happily knowing that you are also actively contributing to shrinking fibroids naturally by telling that energy what to do. You're taking control of your womb energy and activating your womb power as a goddess, as a divine woman, right? By wielding and taking control and being cognizant that you even have the ability to control that energy and tell it what to do, is a big energetic shift into getting the outcome that you desire in terms of shrinking fibroids naturally. Just know that it's your birthright, and that every and all things concerning you must bend to your will fibroids are no exception. They're just energy waiting for you to take back control. I hope this was helpful to you. If you want private coaching, I'm available to do a 1-hour consultation with you. We can go over herbs and supplements to help you in your unique situation with uterine fibroids, boosting fertility, stopping heavy bleeding. But yeah, I'm pretty flexible. I do womb Reiki as well. I do womb energy healing. I also do womb energy readings, which is a new service that I'm offering. We can go a little bit more into detail in that. If you're interested, send me an email, fibroidfreedom@gmail.com. I also got the 90-day private coaching program and my new course. Not so new, but I am updating it, so it technically is new. The Fibroid Freedom Toolkit, Herbs and Supplements to Shrink Fibroids Naturally, is available now. Link will be in the description box. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. And make sure you go over to Instagram and follow me at OP Fibroid Freedom. OPFIBROID I love you. I'm sending you peace. I'm sending you womb healing and fibroid release. Peace.